Good morning. This is the start of the Round the Mountain track, and this is Mt Taranaki behind me, covered in cloud a bit. I've just left the visitor centre and because of a track closure I have to go down the hill, down the ram track and up the Kaiauai track. So it's a bit more down and up, but there's not a choice with the track closed. We're still near the visitor centre, and this is a main short walk, so it's in pretty good condition. But I expect the track condition is definitely going to get worse later on. Alright, so I've sidled around the side of the hill, and now I am on ram track, which will take me way down to the start of Kaiauai track. So as expected, I'm off the loop track from the visitor centre, so stairs are a lot less and it should be a rougher track, though this is actually a really nice bit. This is more what I'm expecting PCT to be like, with quite clear walking. But there's not a lot of this in New Zealand. So this track is going to be 3 nights, 4 days. I think it's only about 55 kilometres, though it'll be a little longer that I've had to do this detour. But it's quite rough track, so the kilometres per day is going to be quite low. Must be getting close to a road because we've got stairs. The track's been lovely so far. There's been a couple of patches of mud, but nothing too bad given the lack of rain recently. Oh, looks like I'm at the junction. No, not a very informative junction. However, I know that I need to head down to the river, so I'm not going that way. I am going down this way. Ooh, wow, proper stairs. So, pretty steep going down, and you have a view from here of Mt Taranaki, and that is what I'm going around. And more stairs. This is what happens when you do trails that are close to roads. You actually get stairs down the hills instead of the usual scramble that we have. This is beautiful in here with all of the ferns. few steep drop-offs. And in New Zealand, this is our hiking marker, and it covers every single trail. We generally don't have special markers for different trails, but if you see one of these, which is any colour but orange, don't follow it. Generally it's leading to a trapping line where they'll have traps to catch possums and stoats, weasels, rats, which are a major pest here in New Zealand. Alright, and onto the first swing bridge. Oh, beautiful. Okay, next junction. So I am heading to Holly Hut. 3 hours 30 minutes. We'll see how I go. It's uphill all of the way, and we have a warning. So no longer on the nice tourist tracks anymore. This is one of the many traps that are here. Designed to catch stoats, possums, ferrets and rats. Uses an egg as a bait. They are humane traps in that it's an instant kill, and it's definitely needed here in New Zealand. This forest is very quiet. If you go to a healthy forest with good pest control, there'll just be constant bird noises. This one, there's been patches where there's been almost nothing, though as they say that, I'm starting to hear a few birds around me again, which is lovely. So that shows the benefit that the trapping has. There's a very steep drop off down here, and that goes all the way down to the river. So wouldn't want to trip along here, but it's a nice wide path which is flattened out a bit, so not too bad. Get a view. Unfortunately the top is covered in cloud, and it's interesting, there's still snow up on the mountain. Given that this is late summer for us, I'm surprised. So far it's been a nice steady climb. There's been a few steeper bits, but not too bad. So actually making fairly good time up the hill, and it's nice. Now I'm getting a few views of the mountain as well, just to make the time go quicker, give me some rewards for some of these climbs. So yes, this is one of the steeper bits, but it'll even out, and soon it'll even out. You can see that the vegetation has started changing as I'm now getting up in altitude. So we've now got these little short shrubby looking bushes, and I can see more views. Oh, just had a really steep section, which is why I'm out of breath. Oh. Now I have climbed above the tree line, so it's just shrubs now, which means my views are about to open up. And there we go. So the track keeps going up that ridge line, then it should pop across, and that is Mt Taranaki. This is a newly hatched cicada. So the climbing continues. You can see the stairs up there. I think I might be coming up to a track junction soon. Still climbing. So you can see the car park from here. That's the car park up there, and I came over to the ridgeline and then followed the ridgeline down and across the river, and then I've come back up this ridgeline and up to where I am now. What the route is meant to be is from the car park is up the mountain and then across, and you can see the track going along, and then it will meet up as a junction coming up not too far away. But on that track, on the slips is where the track's washed away, and they don't want people on it. I'm at the junction. So that's the track I should have taken. But now I'm back on track to Holly Hut, and as I'm back on the main track, I think the standard's going to improve quite a lot. So I'm on the watch out for carnivorous snails now. This is the route that I'm taking. Should have a nice view from the corner down there. There's the ocean. That's the west coast. That's an extinct volcano. The clearing down the bottom is swamplands. And this area in front with all of the dead trees, those were kahikatea trees that were killed by possums. So this is why New Zealanders don't like possums, because they are very destructive in the forest, and they also eat the eggs of the native birds, so we really do not like them. But this is a pretty spectacular view from here. I'm now dropping down to Holly Hut, where I'll spend the night. not keen on this boardwalky type material. It's, my toes tend to get stuck in the gaps, so you can't walk naturally on it. If you watch my videos from my hike in Norway, you'll see I'm not a great fan of boardwalk, but I imagine in this part where you've got two main tracks using this part, it probably gets quite muddy in winter, so they're just trying to protect the ground. After 10-minute walking, I'm still on boardwalk. So there's a massive investment done on keeping this track in a good order. But me personally, I prefer it a bit rougher. Boardwalk's finished now. This is a lovely track to walk on. Gets me down the hill quite efficiently, and I have the beautiful views to look around. I've got the sea to my front and the mountain to my right, and I'm just dropping down now to the hut. Like often happens, the first sign of the hut is the toilet, and you can see the toilet down there. Here's the view. Still got the mountain, still covered in cloud up the top, which is a shame, but absolutely beautiful. And this is the track that I have just come down. I'm glad I'm nearly at the hut, because I was hoping to get water at the stream, but absolutely bone dry. So on I go. The hut should only be a couple of minutes away now. I have arrived. I decided not to stay at the hut. I got there at 3:10, and there is a whole lot of hunters doing goat control staying at the hut. There are also two other people. They were sleeping, and the guy was snoring really loudly. So I've decided I'm going to push on. I'd rather sleep in my tent than have a crowded hut. And the first decent campsite I see, I will stop at. So now that I'm lower, I'm back in vegetation again. I just went through a small patch of bush and back into the shrubby type vegetation. The track's following this gully down. Once again, it is dry, so there doesn't seem to be many springs up on the mountain. It seems to rely on the snowmelt, which most of the snow is already gone. Yeah, so it's quite nice views. These are not the easiest things to walk on. All the dirt is washed out in between them, so you actually need to balance on the top of them like walking on a ladder over a crevasse, which is alright for a short time, but there's a lot of them going down this, so it starts to get quite tiring after a while. And there's lots of these little bits of stairs as well, so it's definitely a track with a lot of man-made influence on it, which is not generally my cup of tea, but such is life. Plant hanging over the track, waiting to catch. This is called bush lawyer, also known as wait a while, because once it grabs onto you, it doesn't let go, and you really need to stop and pull it off before you go any further. So I'll be giving that a wide berth. Oh, and another junction. So I'm heading to Waiau Gorge Hut. Not that I'm going to make it tonight, but that's the direction I'm heading. And that track, Bowles Falls. Well, might as well go and have a look. This is a neat area with all of the moss on the trees. And you can see that white markers, the really old fashioned markers. It's been a long time since I've changed those. Looks like there's been a bit of storm damage in this area. There's a few trees that have come down, but Doc have done a really good job of keeping the vegetation clear. You can see by the dead grass that they've been doing some cutting back the vegetation relatively recently. So this is a much nicer track with nothing man-made, just natural routes to have to go over. This is the first stream in a while. Once again, the benefit of being on the west. So the track's emerged from the bush into this open area with this toi, which is the white fluffy things. That's the river just down there. And I think I have a river crossing coming up. No real clearly defined track along here. I can look back and I can see the orange triangle, and it's facing that way. Okay, yep, I can now see the orange triangle all the way down there. So there hasn't been much maintenance on this section of the trail. It's a little overgrown and very rocky. And as a result, it's a fun trail to walk on.